Hello, 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 and happy weekend Saturday. It is, I believe, February 1st when this video is going to go up. So, welcome to my channel. My name is Lena. This is Timeless New York City. We're going to get down to it, brass tacks. Let's move into it right exactly to the title of why I have decided I am not going to go see James Gunn's Superman, and it's not for the reasons that you think, which is what's happening all over the internet, where there's a clear divide between James Gunn's not Virgin, and Jack Snyder's version. I hope I have his first name right. I really don't remember anymore. I just don't. So let's get into this. The internet is abuzz. And let me just tell you, this movie is not scheduled to come out until sometime in July. It is now February, okay? I have been listening quietly in the corner for many, many months since the dawn of Henry Cavill was supposed to come back in the version of The Rock, which thank God that didn't happen. Not Henry Cavill not coming back, but The Rock happening to the DC universe. And I was elated, excited. I do believe that he is one of the better Supermans. And just so to give you some clarity, I am a DC fan. I am a DC girl. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I am a, comic book, savant. I didn't read any of the comics. Let's be real. I grew up poor. We didn't have time for that. There was no comics. There was not even a comic book store where we lived. Okay, let's just put it that way. And if I had money, I was not spending it on comics. And this was all my friends. So growing up, we watched Super Friends, right? Which, by the way, I tried to rewatch just recently and it's a nightmare. I can't believe I like that. But I was young, so I didn't know, okay? So that was the talk, during the school lunch. So we were heavily into that. I didn't know anything about Marvel. The only thing I knew of any character related to Marvel was the Hulk, with Lou Ferrigno, and that was on TV. And yes, I was alive for that, but I was young. So, and I didn't get to watch it all the time because at my generation, we had one television and it was controlled by the adult. That's it. So the very few times that I got to see him turn into that green monster was the only relation to Marvel, and I didn't understand that it was a Marvel related thing. So we were heavily into Super Friends. So, I grew up with DC, I grew up with Wonder Woman, Batman, yada, yada, yada. I did watch the reruns of the original Superman, George Reed, and I did enjoy him in his cameo in I Love Lucy. And that's who I grew up with. Then all of a sudden, Christopher Reeves comes in. I remember going to the movie theater, watching that movie. I was blown away. Now, I've tried rewatching it again. And of course, the CGI that they were using at that time doesn't hold up. But it's still a great film. I then grew up with him being Superman to me, So I grew up with him. So when they've tried to, change it around to various different actors, whether it's in, the movies or, maybe TV shows, I really didn't get too much into it. Brandon Routh, I didn't enjoy him in the movie. The movie was okay, but I did enjoy his comeback in the WB Arrowverse thing where he came back as Superman, and I was like, you know what? He really grew into that role. But the movie was okay. It's not something I would sit down and rewatch all the time. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't my cup of tea, especially coming off of watching all of the other stuff that I used to watch when related to Superman. Lois and Clark, Dean Cain, and I forgot the woman's name. I know she's pretty popular. I never saw it. It just wasn't me. So I can't sit here and say that I'm a diehard fan, but I'm a fan. I'm a much greater fan to DC than I am to Marvel, even though I enjoyed going to watch or watching Marvel renditions of their comics as a general audience. So there's a big difference between the general audience and a fan, right? So I kind of accepted Marvel for what they were. They did a great job for the first 3 phases, and we all were sucked into it, and we all enjoyed it, and everything was great, and where it's going now, so I'm not even going to go to Marvel. But this ties into James Gunn, right? So when Henry Cavill was not recasted after he had to give his hello and goodbye on YouTube, sadly, I was upset. Quietly. I didn't make a post. I didn't cry. I didn't do anything. I was like, oh, come on. And it was mostly because I also wanted to see the DC universe move forward, right? I don't want another origin story. I don't want another, I didn't want any of that. I finally wanted to see a proper version of the Justice League. I wanted to see the Watchtower in the sky, in the space. I wanted to see, and this ties into the animated versions of Superman and the DC universe. I enjoyed them. I still watch them now. I would love to see a proper Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, all that. I would love to see that. And that is what I was looking forward to, when maybe the possibility it gets, reset, whatever. By the time they even if they get past this minutia that's happening right now, which I'm going to get into, which is frightening. By the time they get into maybe the Watchtower sequence and space and all that other stuff, listen, it could be another 10 years. I'll be 65 years old. Who knows what I'm going to be doing at that time? Maybe I'll still be a fan. I don't know. Maybe I'll be retired somewhere doing something else. I don't know. But I was disappointed because it's like, we're going to start all over again. I don't know what the hell is happening with Batman, either version. Okay? That Twilight guy, the Matt Reeves version, I saw it. It's okay. I can live with him coming into this James Gunn universe as Batman. They seem to be, I don't even know that's happening. Based on everything I'm hearing on YouTube, that might not even be happening. That poor guy, he really can't catch a break, huh? After Twilight, what is he be doing? Like, I thought this was gonna, set him into another, franchise that can be successful. I think he's just in limbo. And let me not even get into Henry Cavill, because I don't know what the hell's going on with him. Okay? He's got bad luck. I at this point, I watch him as James Bond. At this point, I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's rejecting roles or they're not coming to him. I can't make heads or tail. And if I try to listen to all the theories on YouTube, I'm just gonna say, you know what? Good luck, because I don't know. Only he can tell you what's going on. But I just feel like he's a talent that needs to be used. I did watch Deadpool and Wolverine, and it took me a while to figure out that was Henry Cavill, because I didn't know that. I mean, even when he turned around as the Wolverine version in the movie, spoiler alert, and the quick humorous thing that Deadpool was saying to him, it took me a minute. I was like, holy crap, that's Henry. He would make a great Wolverine. I would love that. He looks like him, except for the cigar. I know he got sick from the cigar. So going into James Gunn, I was upset because I don't know why they couldn't use him again, because I don't know what they're doing with the Aquaman, Jason Momoa, why he needs to come back. I'm okay with Gal Gadot not being Wonder Woman. She was all right. At least they had a Wonder Woman. Do you know how long I've been waiting for a live action Wonder Woman other than the original TV show version? Okay, because I grew up on that one. It's not Linda Evans. Forgive me. I don't remember her name, but I know she's still around and she's beautiful. Okay. And I was one of the girls that was twirling around, acting like Wonder Woman. And that was one show that my mom actually let me watch. She didn't take over the television. Again, one television. Okay. Remember, Wonder Woman was in the 70s. I had to be, I was young. Okay. I was alive. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of my age. Don't judge. So here we go. It has been how long since Henry Cavill was not going to be Superman? Almost a year now, I'm going to say. Okay. Since then, I was going to come on here and beg people to please stop bitching and moaning and complaining about every single trailer, whether it's 1 minute, 4 seconds, whatever the hell is going on with these trailers for Superman, because we're just starting. The movie doesn't come out for another 6 months. This is worse than the political era where, you get bombarded with commercials right before the election and every other commercial is about vote for this one, vote. Like, this is madness what's happening. And I was going to come in to do this video to beg people to stop. Okay? Here's the thing. I thought about it. The genie's out of the bottle. There's no stopping it. We have now lived in a generation that every person with a internet connection and a phone or a camera can say whatever the hell they want and post it. I grew up with Siskel and Ebert, thumbs up, thumbs down. That's it. Newspaper. Do they still make newspapers, by the way? I haven't seen a newsstand in years. And every once in a while, maybe something on the news, but it was never in depth to the rage or the detail of what is happening to all of our movies, okay? We used to be suckers, right? I'm going to put it that way. See if this makes sense. We had to go and watch the movie ourselves to determine if we enjoyed it or not. Forget the Oscars, because that's a whole other level that I don't even want to get into, okay? We, the paying public, used to actually physically go to the movie theater, whether it was reported in Siskel and Ebert, thumbs up, thumb down, or it was on the news or in the newspaper, bad ratings, whatever, we would go. First of all, when I remember going to the movie theater, it was at best $3 a ticket. I remember when it was raised to $5 a ticket and people were having a cow. Okay? Tickets now could run $20. And that doesn't even include popcorn, soda, candy. If there's an arcade in the movie theater, you're screwed. Parking, if you have to park, take a train, nothing. So going to the movie theater was our version of streaming, right? So whether we knew it sucked or not, we would go and watch it, right? Hopefully you'll go with a fan and they would explain to you things. And I'm just talking about maybe just movies that related to comics, but just movies in general. So the underworld, and I don't want to say it in a derogatory sense of fans, were mostly relegated to groups of people. We didn't have connections. We didn't have chat rooms. We didn't have AOL. Remember AOL? At best, we had conventions. They would go and gather there. Great. Water cooler. Maybe you were talking about it with your friends on the train. What you didn't do was come out of the movie theater, okay? And as you see the blockbuster line to get into any film, everyone had this silent code. Shut your mouth. You don't tell the ending. You don't talk about it. You leave and exit the theater, and then you wait until you get as far away as you could, and then you talk about it. Because if anyone on that line who hadn't seen that movie even got a glimpse or even think they heard you make a comment about what happens in the movie, you better run for your life, because there will be a war, okay? So everybody got to experience it in real time, right? Because I know that, let's say I'll give you a perfect example. Star Wars. Went to the movie theaters to see that, right? Okay, great. Luke, I am your father. Blown away in the movie theater. Everybody was screaming to the point that we couldn't even hear the next line. I was emotionally impacted by that. Okay? Okay, so you get emotionally impacted, you go to the movie theater, you get out, you run as far as you can before you tell anyone else on that line that's waiting to get the same experience. That's not the case anymore. And this leads into why I am not going to go see the James Gunn Superman. So I have my coffee because it's early in the morning, hence the minimal makeup in my cup. And yes, I am still using my Santa and Witch cup. I don't care if it's February, it's cold, in theory. Bustelo coffee, or pilon. That's my jam, baby. You give me that, I'm good for the day. So the genie's out of the bottle. Anybody could make any kind of commentary. And unfortunately, in the infinite wisdom of the YouTube algorithm, most negative videos about anything get the most views, gets the most traction, gets the most likes or dislikes, however you want to talk about it. Because I legitimately try to find anything positive from any one person about James Gunn's Superman, and there are some out there, but a majority of them on the worldwide internet are not great. Okay, here's the problem. Let me set up the stage. And this is what's been happening. The last time I went to the movie, I went to see The Flash. That is money and time I am never going to get back. Ever. But I went to go see it because I wanted to see Michael Keaton, because that was my Batman growing up too, in theory. I went to the Cine Bistro, where you eat your meal with the movie. An hour into the movie, I finally got my meal. It's about 50 seats, and if 15 were people there, it was a lot. I went with a friend. She knows nothing about comics, Marvel, DC, superheroes. I can't believe it that there's people out there, but it's true. They are. They're worse than the general audience. They just don't know. Okay, great. I spent half the movie explaining to her all the hidden Easter comments and eggs. Okay? Half the people, that's 15, so half of them 7, were on their phones. They didn't get the reference of Back to the Future and the original actor that was being considered. Flew right over their head. Because half of them didn't even know Back to the Future. Let's start with that. Okay? Okay, great. Then when George Clooney came out at the end as Batman, I screamed. I was like, ah! One other person got it. And the whole theater. Everybody else was like, so, I don't get it. First of all, who is he? Second of all, why is this a big thing? This is what happened, okay? And then the montage of the AI Superman versions and, all that crap. Nobody gave a furry rat's behind. They didn't get it. They didn't know who it was. They didn't know who George Reeves was, Christopher Reeves, Supergirl, nothing. It all just was like, if they were even looking at the screen. I was like, okay, never gonna get that money back. So what happens? I can tell you with 95% assurance that within less than 8 weeks, it was on streaming. Paid version, but still, I could have waited because I am paying for streaming. Some have already now just put more money into the studio that created that monstrosity of a movie. Okay, great. Then it goes into HBO, which I pay for monthly. So why do I need to go to the movie theater if not even 2 months later, it's going to be available to me at the comfort of my own home, where I can stop and fast forward and rewind and rewatch and whatever the hell I need to do. Because going to the movies nowadays is just a joke. Okay, great. So I've made a decision that I'm not going back to the movie theater. Something has to pull me out to make me want to go, and even still, I'll contemplate this. Why? Okay. I didn't do an out of the movie theater review of The Flash because I didn't do it. Every single movie that has come out, and this is what's going to happen to this movie as well. We're going to have the next 6 months, any droplet of information that James Gunn provides, okay? Whether it's a 4-second trailer, whatever it is. There are going to be people who will get thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of views dissecting every single angle of every single frame of every single driplet of trailer information James Gunn makes about this movie. We're in for it. It's going to get worse. We're only in February. This movie doesn't come out until July. Okay? Then, what happens? The movie comes out, and unless you're literally the first to see it the night before, or you're waiting on the line the day of, within 3 hours of it being released to the general population, you will get 95% of people who are commentators, and they are YouTube channels. And listen, get your coin. Very happy for you. Great. They'll do the out of the seat review, out of the door review, non-spoiler. Okay. out of the concession review, out of the movie theater review, on my way to the car that I parked in the parking lot review, in the car review, in the car driving to my girlfriend's house before I need to get to my wife review, coming back from my girlfriend review to going home to my family wife review. Well, still not spoiler, okay? And then within 24 hours, if I'm even giving it 24 hours, all of those same people are going to give you the spoiler review, okay? By the time I get a ticket, which will cost me $1 million, okay, that I've already paid technically to the studio because I have HBO as streaming, right? So I've already paid into this ticket. Think about it that way. Just follow it. Stay with me. Let me know if you're following me. Okay. By the time I even want to go see the movie, I would have learned every variation from every person, if they love it or hate it, the gambit. And if I piece together all of the commentators, I have pretty much seen the movie. What's left is to see the movie. And then from there will be another, God knows, if this movie flops, I don't even know if Batman's coming back. I don't know what Warner Brothers is going to do, because I don't think Warner Brothers knows what they're doing. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. This is a disaster, the studio. They have one of the best IPs. And what they've done was just play dumb. Roll over and play dead at this point. So let's say it doesn't do well. Well, the death of DC. James Gunn killed the DC universe. Warner Brothers explodes. It'll be a shit show. Excuse my language. Okay? And it can go either way, because there's a lot of people who are wishing for this version to die. Okay? So there could be a tug of war going on there. I'm telling you right now. And that's going to be more exciting to watch than probably the movie itself. And that's the sad part. You know? So by the time that it hits streaming, which will probably be maybe another 8 weeks at best, could be shorter, depending if it's successful or not, I would have the option to rent it for $20, which is half the price of going to the movie theater. And if I desperately want to watch it, I might just pay for it, or because times are hard, the struggle is real. I don't know what the economy is going to do, so I'm putting my money where I want to, okay? And if I still have HBO, which is probably one of the last streaming services that don't have commercials, which is probably the only reason why I still watch it, because I canceled Netflix. I've canceled everything else. I have Amazon Prime because I have Amazon Prime. But I don't want to invest anything into, I have to choose for a commercial. So if it goes into HBO, maybe another 2 weeks after it goes onto streaming, which was maybe 8 weeks, 9, 10 weeks, you know what? My life will continue. I will be okay. I will watch that movie myself, knowing that in the background I've had 18 million people complain or give reverence or whatever the hell they're going to do. I'm going to be the judge of myself, but the problem is that it's my money, that if you're asking me to spend, then it better be that this movie lifts me out into the stratosphere, into another space and dimension. That's the only way I'm going to wind up going to a movie theater. And that's not going to happen. Let's get real. We know that. I watched the trailer for James Gunn where they had Crypto, the dog. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cute. I was so happy. I was like, you know what? That's kind of nice. And then I read, you know how the algorithm, when you watch someone, and most of the people that I watch are people that I am subscribed to. So they're doing different kinds of content. And sometimes they touch upon the issue that's happening with, Superman, comics, all this other stuff. And if you watch one person, you know how this fangled behind the wizard, algorithm that YouTube presents to us. If you watch one, it's like roaches. 9 billion other people that you may have never heard of. All of a sudden, your feed is filled with everybody else. So I can't escape it. There's only so many times I can tell YouTube I'm not interested. Because one of these days I'm going to say I'm not interested to one of the channels that I'm asked to subscribe to, and I'm never going to see that person again. And I won't even know it. So I just sit there and keep refreshing. I'm like, oh dear God. When I saw how people were reacting about Crypto the dog, I was like, okay, I need to take a cup of coffee because this is going to be fun. I was like, really? Really? We can't even have a freaking dog now? Everybody's having a heart attack over a freaking dog because it's not the right breed of social media and there's nothing. I'm like, oh my God, let the man do his movie. Hate it or like it after the fact. And then, that should have been the end of it, right? No. Now he gave James Gunn this 4-second clip of Superman spinning in some sort of vortex of snow, and the shot that he comes at you, his eyes look like they are like crossed or, separating. And I noticed it immediately and I was like, that's kind of strange. So I didn't understand what I was looking at first. And then yet again, because I watched that, then I got all the reactions of everybody screaming that this is CGI, this is horrible, this is that. And I'm like, James, you're doing it to yourself. At this point, stop it. First of all, you are a filmmaker. You honestly didn't notice that and you couldn't adjust that and put out the best version of this 4-second thing? What are you doing? Even I, who don't know much about filming, saw that and I was like, that looks kind of odd. So I rewatched it again. I'm like, no, I don't remember him looking like that. Is that how he looks? And maybe I missed that? David Cornsweat? I was like, well, okay. No, but everybody on the internet, on YouTube, told me that that's not the way he should look. Okay. They're right. It's not the best. And James, really? Seriously? Dude, come on. And then he comes out with a response. It was a wide angle lens. So then don't use the lens, you ding dong. You can't figure out a way to make this look right? We don't need to see that. Right? So I'm like, okay. Strike two. Got the freaking dog. The costume. Well, it's a costume. I personally don't like it. Is it going to make me not want to go see the movie? No, of course not. I'm not going to go see the movie, not because of the costume, but just in general. If the movie theater ticket was at a reasonable rate and people were still going to the movies, that would not be the reason why I'm not going to go see the movie. I would question it after I see it, the full movie. Maybe that costume could have been a little bit done better, but I'm looking for the full experience. I'm looking for the whole storyline. I don't even understand what's happening in the movie. I see 18 different characters and Mr. Terrific and Hawk Person and some guy with a wig, blonde, and then I see a dragon and then a dog and then Pa. I don't see Ma. I'm like, oh, what? What is happening? James, can you give me just some continuity? Just general audience conversation. Because if I were to watch everybody's conversation online, they're just as lost too. So this is the reason why I'm not going. Because I don't need to. My life is not going to change whether I go the first day or I wait the 8, 9, 10 weeks later. It's not going to make or break my life. The studio is already getting my money. Hey, I'm already subscribed to HBO. You already got me. You don't need more from me. I'm not being paid to go to the movie theater. I don't have a Rolls Royce rolling up and taking me there and then, cameras and a red carpet or a step and repeat going out into the theater. And then I have the most amazing experience when I get in there because the food is amazing and the service is great. No, I don't need that in my life. And this is the sad reality of it. This is why movies are failing. This is why theaters are failing, because it's first of all, you give us subpar movies. And even if they're subpar, by the time they get into the streaming, and then you can actually watch it if you're part of the service that they are in, like Disney, you have to have Disney Plus, HBO, and I don't know what Netflix is doing, to be honest with you. Then why am I wasting my time and energy? I don't even feel like if I go out to the theater and I make a review, it's going to make a dent in the world. It's not. It's not. I'm just going to sit here and listen to everybody bitching and moaning, or maybe praising. Maybe this guy can pull out a miracle out of his ass. I don't know. All I know, I know James Gunn from Galaxy of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and they were cute. You know, I know he's into the animals. I appreciate that. You know, I'm not going to sing his praises. Oh my God, it's so amazing. No. It was good. You know, so he wants to take this on. Does it appear that he's on the right foot from just what's happening in the timeline? No. But it doesn't mean that he can't pull it out of his ass and it'll be amazing. And even if every single person in the world enjoys this movie, I am still not going to go to the movie theater and watch it because I could wait until it gets onto the TV. Money's tight. You want me to spend $30? There better be something in it for me. That's why I appreciate the commentators, because before we were naive enough just to go to the movie theaters because we didn't really get a lot of data. Now we're overloaded. So that's the reason why I'm not going. I honestly don't know what this movie is going to do. I just know that from here until July, we need to brace ourselves, because there's going to be a whole lot of conversation online. And if you're not part of that algorithm that got stuck in the vortex of commentaries, tell me how you did it. Please tell me. Because I've tried not interested, and even if I tell the algorithm I'm not interested, every person that has ever commented on every movie on any kind of genre still comes up. I got videos coming up from 10 years ago. Why? Why? I don't want to know what you thought about 10 years ago. That's a whole decade before. Okay? Now, I can't get out of this. So I figured I'm going to jump in with my toes very lightly and just say, hi, I'm a fan. I'm not a general audience like Marvel. I am a fan. I just want to understand what you're doing. Clue me in just a little bit. Is this what's happening? What's going on? Why so many people? Why so many things in the trailer? Like what is the story about? Where's Mom? I saw Pa. Is there a mom? Where are we going with this? And I love the dog. I hope the dog doesn't get hurt. That was a good thing. I'm gonna be honest with you. From that trailer, the dog was the most enjoyable part of the trailer. Sorry, I know a lot of people are gonna bitch and moan and complain, but I wasn't a Snyderverse fan either. You know, his Justice League was better than Justice League, Joss Whedon's version, by 100 million miles. He had the proper characters. It was great to see, you know, the Martian Manhunter. You could see there's bones of something being there. But when you compare it to the one that we got theatrically from Joss Whedon, you really can't go anywhere up from there. You just can keep going up, because that version was just, was that a movie? Or I don't know what that was. I actually went to the theater to see that, and I walked out of there like, what just happened? What is this? What's happening? Why did Superman look like that? Why was he not in the beginning of the movie? Like, and then you see all the posters, Superman's not in the poster. Like, was it a surprise that he was supposed to come back? Isn't the Justice League part with Superman? So, I don't know. So when Zack Snyder sent out his version of Justice League, the documentary, I could call it, the 4-hour documentary, I actually sat there and I've watched it a couple of times. You know, he has issues with color grading, and, you know, but he had a flow. There was something there. Like, if he would have stuck with it, maybe we could have gotten freaking proper Justice League with a Green Lantern and with, you know, the Flash version. That's not what we got in the actor. Sorry, he was horrible. Okay. A Watchtower. There's so many storylines that they could have touched upon, that they just keep resetting this freaking... Stop it. Stop it. Stop resetting it. Nobody needs to see this all over us. You know what? I promised that I was not going to lose it. I'm trying not to lose it. So if I have to sit here once again to watch another origin story of Superman So James Gunn can finalize his version from here until I'm 75, which will be 20 years from now. I think I can wait. I have the DC animated version. I can watch that. I'm good with that. Super fun. Not even super fun. Justice League, all the DC movies. I'm good. James Gunn, have at it. Internet, there's no way stopping it. People are going to be doing all their reviews. And I'm telling you, by the time it releases, it's only the beginning. Because then it's the after reviews. And that I think is more frightening than what's coming. Like all the trailers. So that's my reason why I'm not going to go see James Gunn's Superman. It's not because of James Gunn. It's just that I really don't have the time, the money, or the patience to sit there and pretend that, I'm going to come back and do a commentary out of the bathroom commentary, because that's the only thing that's left after everybody gets out of the movie theater, every version of out of the whatever, and tell you my 2 cents, because really, watch it yourself. Like back in the days when you actually had to go to the theater or watch a movie to make your own version, and then you go and you watch the people who dislike it, the thumbs up and down, and be like, oh, he sucked. He didn't know what he's talking about. Yeah, that. We have a brain. We can make decisions for ourselves. But go in open-minded. Don't just hate. Now, if he continues to do these sucky trailers, I'm not going to hold out too much hope for him. I'm not giving him much hope right now. I'm just saying, listen, just let him do his thing. But this frame by frame, second by second, pulling apart every single thing that's happening on the internet. Oh my God. Am I the only one that thinks that this is out of control? Hope you enjoyed this. By the way, again, if you like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you. I got more videos coming, more in person. And then my beautiful AI assistant, Lena, which I am probably going to put to rest for about another 2 videos because I'm kind of burned out trying to create videos. And I figured I'd come in here and say, hi. Thank you for all the subscribers. Thank you for all the likes. Thank you for looking and checking and reading. I see that my Chicago PD series is really picking up again, because I see that Chicago PD is back. I've been watching sporadically because I'm trying to get it to where it's more than once a week, so I can do my review on the full season. But I did watch the crossover event. I'll give you my comments on that after this video. But listen, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. And thank you if you put a comment down below. I will be answering it, because right now my channel is very small. So I have the ability to answer all my comments. And once that does happen, where I blow up to the point, I still may just answer all the comments, depending on what I'm doing on that day. So have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I hope you enjoy yourself. Have a blessed day. Bye.